Memory and creativity are very interlinked. They're a huge subject, and I'll try and quickly give you an overview so you've got an understanding. Both of them happen efficiently when you're relaxed. The other thing is that you need to be healthy. You need to get a decent night's sleep. It's like the garbage man comes in first, cleans the garbage out of your brain, then the maintenance man comes in. If you don't get enough sleep, you wake up with a head full of garbage. Your diet, you need a balanced diet. You need plenty of greens, you need to look after yourself. Exercise, aerobic exercise is excellent. It stimulates your blood flow to get it to the muscles, and at the same time, it is going up to your brain. So you need to give yourself permission to relax. It's a part of your work day. Now, if we look at the brain waves, we start off with the delta brain waves, which are our deep sleep brain waves. This is where the restorative action happens in your deep sleep. Then your theta brain waves, that's when you just go to sleep, the lighter sleep. This is the REM sleep, or the rapid eye movement. And this is where your short-term memories get turned into long-term memories. This will happen 4 or 5 times a night, with the biggest period in the early morning. So it's another reason why you need a decent night's sleep. Otherwise, you're not going to create these long-term memories. And in the theta brainwave period, both your creativity and your memory are at their peak. That's why you wake up and you think, wow, I've thought of this last night. Then you go up into the alpha zone. That's where you're relaxed, you're playful, or you're doing something which is automated, like driving or walking. It is in the 8 to 12 hertz range, which is exactly the same as nature. That's why most people feel so good in nature. So in your alpha zone, you're creative and your mind's working well, your memory. So we need to get that alpha zone working to get us productive. Then we go up into the beta zone. The beta zone is where we're in work mode. So we need the beta to make our creativity and apply what we've come from our memory. So that's what happens in the beta. And then we've got the gamma, which is the very high 38 to 42 hertz range. Now the gamma talks to all parts of your brain, and it is when you get light bulb moments of, wow, this is how we can do it. It is not well researched. They're still working on how it works, why it works. But those are the stages of your brainwave. But your key ones are your alpha and your theta for your creativity. As I said with stress, it's vital that you allow time to wind down, so you keep on top of stress, you stop it happening. There's a great book and video by Robert Sapolsky called Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. He explained it like this. You're out in the veldt, the zebras are eating the grass, the lions are under the thorn tree. Tummy rumbles in the lions, they say, okay, we're ready for a zebra dinner. Off they go, stalking a zebra. The whole herd takes off. The lion, as he stalks, all the chemicals and hormones are going wild. The same with the zebras when they take off. And one poor little zebra ends up as dinner on the table, and all the lions have a good feed. After the feed, they relax back under their thorn tree. All the chemicals drain out of their system. The zebras know that the lions are fed now for 5 days or a week, so they don't have to worry, and all the chemicals drain out of their system. But what happens in modern society? You get up, the alarm clock's ringing, first line of the morning. Then you find that your child's left their lunchbox at school, and the husband's got to go early. And so you get the kids packed up, so you've got line after line, and then you hit the traffic, more lines, and get to work, and things haven't been done, and appointments have been missed. So you get stress built on top of stress, built on top of stress, with no time to let it go. So this is why it's vital that you've got to stop and say, hang on, I'm just going to quieten down and just get rid of the stress that's building up in me. Now with memory, it's very interesting because you don't remember while you're trying to remember. You remember in the time, the quiet time after you try to remember. If you're trying to memorize a speech, chunk it. Put into a paragraph or two, memorize that, then go and put your feet up, have a cup of tea for the same amount of time. So you might memorize for 15 or 20 minutes, have a rest for 15 or 20 minutes. You'll remember 10 times quicker doing it like that. Always make sure you're in the alpha zone. Make sure, don't try and remember unless you're relaxed. So really relax, chunk your speeches. And this is another reason we talked about earlier on pauses. This is why we pause in speeches. For the memories that work in the audience, you have to give them that bit of clear air. And that's why putting decent pauses, every time you put a really strong message out there, you're going to have a long pause if they're going to remember it. Now, when we look at creativity, it happens in the alpha zone, as we said before, but creativity is not creating something new. It is actually joining that and that. It's joining two existing ideas. That is creativity. Whatever we create, we're building on somebody else's work. We're not creating from nothing. If we were creating from nothing, we'd have no speech, we would have nothing. So we're always building on ideas. So the more knowledge that you've got in an area, the more creative you'll be. Creativity happens when you really upset the apple cart. You change things around. You do things differently. You shake your cage. When we're babies, we've got 100% creativity. We will do anything to get the attention of our parents. And nothing's wrong. We'll just keep on doing it until it works. And then as we go into school, we're told that's right and that's wrong. If you get it wrong, you're in trouble. So instead of being creative how we do things, we lose that creativity. It drops down as we go through the levels of school. When we get to university, our creativity is down to about 15% because we have to keep in this box that we're in. And so there's a big drop in creativity. But everybody is creative, and you can boost your creativity by really looking at how you can change your situation. If I was told you, look, you're in London, jump on a plane and fly back to Sydney. So you jump on the plane, you come back to Sydney. And I'd talk to you when you got back and you'd say, oh yes, the food was terrible, we had to wait there was fog in Heathrow, and it'd be all fairly dull. But if I told you to go and take a plane to China, pick up a vehicle there and drive down through Laos and catch into Thailand and catch a boat to Darwin and drive back from there. What do you think when I talk to you when you get home, what do you think the difference would be? Both times you've come from London to Sydney, but the second time you've been completely misplaced and you've had to do a heap of things that you've never done before. Your creativity when you get back from that second trip will be 100 times more than the dull, old, boring trip. So it's important to try and shake yourself up. You can do things like watch TED Talks for an hour or so, and watch things that you never would have watched before. You can go on to Wikipedia, and down the left-hand side there's a random article, sixth one down on the left-hand side. Hit that, and whatever comes up there, see how you can relate it to what you're doing. And it immediately gives you a totally different perspective. Rather than looking at it from your perspective, you're taken over here to come in from a different angle. So let's say I was designing a desk, and I got a Wikipedia article on pigeons. So what could I do? I could flock the desks together to make a big table so that they all fitted together. I could have wings on them that pulled out to make the desk bigger when I needed it. I could have an egg box, a little cooker in the desk that were raised up and down. You keep on thinking, how can I join these two things together? You go for crazy ideas, and then out of that, you get something that works. So the challenge I've got for you today is to really make sure you're living a healthy life, you're getting your sleep, and look at your schedule and plan downtime during the day. Plan to go and have a walk at lunch. Plan to do some meditation. Or if you're not into meditation, use brain entrainment tapes. You can Google them. And they will really settle your brain down. So it's important that you look at things that'll help you get rid of stress and get you into the alpha zone. I hope you've enjoyed our 5 days, and look forward to any questions or comments that you have in the comments box below.